dear friends. Welcome back to Your Perfect English podcast. I am Sarah, the podcast where we grow your English step by step with calm, clear, and beautiful everyday sentences that you can use in real life. I'm so glad you're here today, ready to improve your English with me. If you're an intermediate English learner, this episode is made especially for you. You already understand quite a lot of English, but sometimes you might feel unsure when speaking or listening to fast conversations. That's completely normal. This podcast will help you become more confident, natural, and expressive when you speak, and more focused and relaxed when you listen. Today, we're going to focus on daily English listening and speaking practice, the kind of English you use every single day, at work, at school, with friends, or even when talking to yourself. The goal is to help you understand English clearly and speak it smoothly, using sentences that are both practical and beautiful. You don't need to memorize difficult vocabulary or complex grammar. Instead, you'll learn how to use simple words in smart and natural ways, just like native speakers do. As you listen to this episode, try to stay relaxed. Don't rush. Don't worry about mistakes. Focus on the rhythm, the tone, and the feeling behind the sentences. When you listen actively and repeat the words aloud, your mouth, tongue, and mind start to work together. And that's how real fluency begins. So find a quiet place, take a deep breath, and get ready to train your ears and your voice. Listen carefully. Repeat after me whenever you can, and imagine you're talking to a friendly person in real life. Let's begin this journey to sound more natural, confident, and fluent in English. One beautiful sentence at a time. Let's start with a few daily conversation sentences that you can use anywhere, at work, at home, or with friends. These are the kinds of sentences that make your English sound natural, friendly, and fluent. They are short, simple, and full of life. You'll hear native speakers using them all the time in daily conversations. As you practice them, don't just repeat the words. Try to feel the rhythm and tone behind each sentence. Imagine you're actually talking to someone. That's the best way to make your speaking sound real and confident. Now, repeat after me slowly. Let the words flow naturally. Hey, how's everything going? This is a friendly and informal way to ask someone how they are. It sounds more relaxed than "how are you?" and is perfect for casual conversations with friends or coworkers. It's been a busy day, but I'm doing fine. Here, you're sharing a little about your day while still keeping a positive attitude. Notice how natural it sounds. You can use it when someone asks how you are after a long day at work or school. I've got a lot on my plate, but I'm managing. This means you have many things to do, but you're handling them well. It's a polite and realistic way to show that you're busy without complaining. What have you been up to lately? This is a great question to ask someone you haven't seen for a while. It means, what have you been doing recently? It's friendly and open. Not much, just keeping up with my routine. A perfect and natural answer when your life has been calm or normal. It shows that you've been busy with your usual daily activities. Now listen to this short dialogue and imagine the tone and expression. A. Hey, how's your day going? B. Pretty good, just a bit tired. How about you? A. Same here. I can't wait to relax this evening. This short exchange sounds simple, but it's full of natural spoken English. Pay attention to how each sentence feels. It's not about big vocabulary, it's about sounding warm, real, and human. When you practice this dialogue, try repeating both roles, A and B. Doing both sides helps your rhythm, pronunciation, and speaking confidence. It also trains your mind to think quickly in English, just like in a real conversation. Remember, the secret is not speed, it's natural flow. Speak slowly, clearly, and with feeling. As an intermediate English learner, one of the most important skills you can develop is the ability to express yourself clearly and naturally. It's not just about knowing words or grammar. It's about knowing how to use phrases in the right situations, how to sound polite, confident, and friendly, and how to make your speech feel real, like a natural conversation. Today we'll focus on some very useful daily expressions that you can use in different situations. I'll explain each phrase, give you examples, and help you imagine how to apply them in real life. Then I want you to repeat them slowly, clearly, and with feeling, because that's how you turn words into real communication skills. Let's start with the phrase, "I'm not sure, but I think." This is a polite and careful way to share your opinion or an idea when you're not 100% certain. Using this phrase makes your English sound natural and professional. For example, if someone asks about the time of a meeting, you can say, "I'm not sure, but I think the meeting starts at 10. Notice how polite it sounds. You're not giving a hard answer, but you're still participating in the conversation. You can use this in many situations, at work, school, or even when talking with friends. Saying, "I'm not sure, but I think," shows that you're thoughtful and careful with your words. Next we have, "That makes sense." This is a very common phrase used when you agree with someone or understand what they are saying. It's short, easy, and sounds natural in conversation. For example, someone might explain why a plan is delayed, and you can respond, "Oh, that makes sense. Thanks for explaining." Notice how warm and polite it sounds. You're not just agreeing, you're showing understanding. Using "that makes sense" helps your English sound more smooth and conversational rather than stiff or mechanical. Another useful expression is, "I haven't decided yet." This is perfect for everyday decision-making. You don't always have to make a decision immediately, and this phrase helps you sound realistic and calm. For example, if someone asks what you want to eat or what movie you want to watch, you can reply, "I haven't decided yet what to cook for dinner." This shows that you're thinking, you're flexible, and you can participate in the conversation without pressure. Finally, let's look at, "I'm trying to get better at." This is a powerful phrase because it shows self-improvement and motivation. You can use it to talk about your goals, your hobbies, or your skills. For example, "I'm trying to get better at speaking English every day." This phrase doesn't just help you speak about yourself, it encourages conversation. Others might respond with advice or share their own goals, and you can continue practicing natural English. Using phrases like this helps you sound confident, motivated, and engaged. Now I want you to repeat each phrase with me, slowly and clearly. Don't just say the words, imagine real situations where you could use them. Picture yourself in a meeting, chatting with a friend, or talking to a colleague. Think about the tone, the feeling, and the rhythm. That's how you turn vocabulary into fluency. When you practice this way every day, your English doesn't just improve in grammar or pronunciation, It becomes real, usable, and beautiful, just like native speakers do. The key is consistency, focus, and speaking with intention. Keep practicing these phrases, and you'll notice that speaking English naturally starts to feel easier and more confident. Now, let's move on to listening practice, which is one of the most important skills for improving your English. Listening carefully helps you understand the flow, rhythm, and pronunciation of natural English. It also trains your brain to think in English, which makes speaking much easier. Today, we'll do a short listening and speaking challenge. I will read a paragraph slowly, and your task is to listen carefully, imagine the meaning, and then repeat it after me, one sentence at a time. As you repeat, focus not just on the words but also on the pronunciation, rhythm, and emotion behind each sentence. Speaking naturally is about feeling the sentence, not just reading it. Here's the paragraph. Every morning, I wake up early and make myself a cup of coffee. While drinking it, I listen to an English podcast or read something in English. This small habit helps me start the day with focus and positivity. I believe that even 5 minutes of practice can make a big difference. Let's look at this paragraph closely. The first sentence, every morning I wake up early and make myself a cup of coffee, is simple but full of daily life vocabulary. Notice how it sounds if you say it naturally. Every morning, I wake up early. Try to emphasize the words morning, wake up, and coffee slightly more than the other words because they carry the main meaning. This is how English speakers naturally stress important words to make sentences feel alive. The second sentence, while drinking it, I listen to an English podcast or read something in English, teaches us about daily routines and connecting actions. Words like while and or help link ideas smoothly, which is a very common feature in natural speech. When you repeat it, pause slightly at the commas to practice the natural rhythm of spoken English. Don't rush. Flowing slowly makes your speech sound thoughtful and clear. The third sentence, this small habit helps me start the day with focus and positivity, is about benefits and feelings. Words like focus and positivity are abstract, but when you say them with a slight upward tone, they feel more expressive. This teaches you to speak English with emotion, which is essential for sounding natural. Think about what this habit does for you, and let that feeling influence your tone as you repeat it. Finally, I believe that even 5 minutes of practice can make a big difference, is motivational and perfect for daily practice. Here, words like believe, practice, and big difference are powerful. When repeating this sentence, imagine that you are encouraging yourself. Speak with confidence. This is exactly how native speakers make their English sound alive and meaningful. Now, repeat the paragraph one sentence at a time. Start slowly. Focus on pronunciation, rhythm, and feeling. And imagine the scenario as if you are really waking up, drinking coffee, and practicing English. Listening and repeating like this trains both your ears and your voice, creating a natural flow in your speech. Remember, fluency doesn't come from speed or perfection. It comes from feeling the words, practicing consistently, and speaking with intention. Even a few minutes every day will build your confidence and make your English sound smooth, clear, and full of life. Now, let's talk about some practical daily tips that will help you improve your English listening and speaking skills consistently. Developing fluency is not about learning complicated grammar or memorizing long lists of vocabulary. It's about using the language in a natural, confident, and enjoyable way every day. Small, consistent efforts make a big difference over time, and even 10 minutes of focused practice can gradually transform your English. The first tip is to listen to English for 10 to 15 minutes every day. Listening is the foundation of speaking. When you expose yourself to natural English through podcasts, songs, or short videos, your brain starts recognizing common words, sentence structures, and pronunciation patterns. You don't need long sessions. Short, regular listening helps your mind absorb the rhythm and flow of the language. Try to choose content that interests you. If you enjoy what you're listening to, your brain will learn faster and you'll feel motivated to continue. The second tip is to repeat out loud. Don't just listen passively. Speaking along with what you hear helps train your mouth, tongue, and vocal muscles to form English sounds naturally. It also improves your pronunciation and rhythm. When you repeat, focus on speaking slowly, clearly, and with feeling. Pretend you are talking to a real person. This simple habit turns passive listening into active speaking practice, which is essential for building confidence. The third tip is to record yourself once a week. Hearing your own voice is one of the most effective ways to track your progress. When you listen to your recordings, you can notice improvements in pronunciation, intonation, and sentence structure. You can also identify areas that need more attention, like certain sounds or expressions. Over time, these small adjustments make your English sound much more natural and fluent. The fourth tip is to use English in your daily routines. Speak English while cooking, walking, or driving. Describe what you're doing, express your thoughts, or even talk to yourself. This is a simple but powerful way to turn English into a habit, making it part of your everyday life. The more you practice in realistic situations, the easier it becomes to think and speak in English naturally. Finally, don't focus on perfection. Many learners feel stressed about making mistakes, but fluency is not about knowing every word or speaking perfectly. It's about using the words you already know clearly, confidently, and naturally. Focus on clarity, expression, and rhythm, and allow yourself to make small mistakes. They are part of learning. Remember, fluency grows from consistent practice, self-expression, and confidence, not from perfection. By following these tips every day, your English will gradually become smoother, more natural, and easier to use in real conversations. Even a few minutes of focused listening, repeating, and speaking daily will build strong habits, boost your confidence, and help you sound like a natural English speaker. The key is practice, consistency, and enjoying the process. Great job today, my friends! You've spent time practicing real, natural English sentences, and by doing this, you've taken an important step toward expressing yourself more confidently. Every sentence you repeated, every phrase you imagined using in a real-life situation, helps your brain and mouth work together, building your fluency gradually. Remember, speaking English naturally is not about perfection. It's about practicing consistently and using what you know in meaningful ways. Fluency grows with small, daily steps. Even a few minutes of listening, repeating, and speaking every day will make a noticeable difference over time. By repeating sentences aloud, imagining real conversations, and paying attention to pronunciation, rhythm, and feeling. You train yourself to speak English smoothly and confidently. Listening carefully, speaking slowly, and focusing on clarity are the keys to progress, not rushing or worrying about mistakes. So, take what you learned today and make it a habit. Listen again tomorrow, repeat along with me, and allow English to become a natural part of your daily life. Talk to yourself, practice short dialogues, and use the phrases in your daily routines. Little by little, you'll notice that your speech feels more fluid and natural. Thank you for joining me today on Intermediate Daily English Practice. Keep learning, keep speaking, and keep believing in yourself. Every small step adds up. You are making real progress, and your confidence is growing with each practice session. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode.